Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started. One story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm feeling some kind of way today, y'all. I promise it's a beautiful day, as always, to be alive. And I want to tell you something. Man, what an honor, what a privilege, what a joy, divine, to come together every day, just to be blessed enough to come together every day and fulfill that wonderful promise that guarantees us that we're two or more of us with the same mindset, heart set, soul set, if you will. We come together in agreement that together we can pour into each other and take great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger. Can I get an amen? I told y'all, don't make me preach up in here today. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and it's a beautiful, beautiful morning here in the Chicagoland area. How are things shaping up for you in your neck of the woods? Drop it in the comments. I want to know where you're at and what is it you're looking for within this 24-hour period, this day, this opportunity, this sacred space. Claim it, manifest it, and then use it to help others. Can I get another amen? Help me welcome to the show, as always. She's my sidekick. She's my version of Ed McMahon. This is my girl, Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. And we're, you know what? Is it gross that I didn't finish a pot of coffee yesterday, which I'm grateful for? And I just rewarmed it. Some people go, ew, especially those people that drive through that one place that serves coffee, then where they wait in line for 40 minutes. Judgy much? Anyway, so we're going to get started because Amy Joy is back. And when I say back, I don't mean just to the show. I mean back to the United States. You know her. She's like our own Carmen Sandiego. You don't know where she's going to show up, right? But the great thing about it is she always comes back and shares what she has found. Not only where she was, but within herself. while she was there. So today is like that. It's another illuminated conversation. So I'm just going to get her in here so we can get started. Get ready. We're about to take you on a little journey. And India is the place of choice today. So put your hearts into this illuminated conversation, and it won't kill you to put a few hearts on the screen. They're free, and they're our virtual way of applauding. Here she comes, Amy Joy. I love that song. Or Diddy. I don't think it's a song. Maybe I can write lyrics to it. Oh, never mind. Hi, Amy Joy. You're not. Say hello. Tell them where you're at. You're not at your house. You're somewhere else in the world, as always. Say hello. And how you doing?
Hi, everyone. So great to see you again.
Same here. So since last we were together, you have taken off, and tell us a little bit. First of all, okay, tell us where you went, and then when did you decide to go there, and what was it you had in mind when you made that decision? I'm going to dip out and let you get us started with that little piece, if that's okay.
Of course. So I had the beautiful privilege of being part of a retreat called FOA. It's called Field of Awakening last September with Sri Preetaji and her husband, Sri Krishnaji. And that retreat alone changed my life. And I found out about a month-long silent meditation that they do in India. And I just really felt the call to go. And so I did. And that is called tapas. Ekam tapas. Ekam stands for oneness. And that is their mission. Their mission is to help 80,000 beautiful souls get to the point of enlightenment. Enlightenment to them, the definition is, and my definition is the cessation or the liberation from all forms of suffering. And so when I heard that, that is completely in alignment with what I do and what I teach and trying to help people liberate themselves from suffering. And I thought if I can learn how to do that even more in my own life, it'll also give me tools to help others. I had no idea how impactful this was going to be.
Well, that's a good thing, because oftentimes, if we had known in advance of how impactful certain experiences were, we wouldn't have the nerve or the guts to go and make it happen. So that's why I love purpose, because, like I tell people, source, spirit, greater than God, whatever you ascribe to, guess what? They don't make mistakes. They just keep it in.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, well, first of all, you said month-long silent. That's the first I heard of that. Wait a minute. Don't tell me you weren't talking.
So to say I was completely silent would be a lie. However, it was the most silent I have ever been in my life. And it wasn't the main focus of the month, but in general, yeah, we did not talk. So it was incredible.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was a torturous at first for me,
You
actually.
know, let me tell you, I haven't been on one of those, but I'll tell you
Mm,
what came close. When Brian and I were in New York City, we went to the 9/11 museum.
mhm.
And in there, it's because it literally it's like a tomb, and
Right.
no one's talking. So you're in there like for a couple hours, right? And no one's talking. And it was a very odd experience. And it took a minute to start getting acclimated to it. So I get it, but it's nowhere near an entire month. So wait a minute. So tell us, what is the objective with this silence? Is it to get inside or listen to everything around you, become a part of the oneness, reconnect, all of that, or what? Tell us about that.
Yes, for sure. So it wasn't the main focus, which is why we still did sometimes. But the reason is to make us go internal. And what I realized is my addiction to going outside of myself, my addiction to connection, whether it be eye contact, whether it be touch, whether it be talking. It was like a need, a craving to go outside of myself. And when you can't
Mm.
go outside of yourself and there's 600 people around you and you're not allowed to talk to them,
Oh,
it
man.
was unbelievable what happens. And so then you end up going in and going in, and then you have to deal with your own stuff.
So and I just want to say this for the sake of everybody on the front end of this interview. What we're talking about here, this is what Amy just described. You know, I experienced that several years back, and it started. So I'm just saying this so you know, if you don't have the funds or the things to go off and do what Amy did, you can still apply these principles. I'd started inside my car 1 day a week. No, and I knew it was. I'd always make it a day that I like. That was back when I was driving to speaking engagements before
Mm.
COVID. So I'd be on the road for 3 or 4 or 5 hours, and I would be completely silent. No radio, no Sirius XM. And it was not as easy as you'd think at
Mhm.
first. So I say, yeah, it's an important thing, and you can grow, grow, grow. So you said toughest, good name. Phonetically sounds perfect because to not talk or be at a minimum for 30 days would be toughest for me.
It
I'm
was
just saying. So let's take a look. You sent me a little minute and a half, I think, video of just some of the beauty of the place known as India, and also maybe a little peek inside some of the experience. Just watch the faces, you guys, of the people in this video. You'll see what I mean.
Hmm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I just want to say, I clicked it up on the screen. I know you're getting a little emotional back there. I told you when we were talking before the interview started that when I loaded that up and I was watching it, there was something special going on in there. It's just a beautiful human experience. I typed that in. You remember I couldn't come up with a word
Yeah.
or a term,
Yeah.
but that is exactly what it is. So tell everybody what you thought you were stepping into, and then a little bit about what you found when you stepped through it, because you didn't step out of it because you're in it right now.
Ooh.
So
Yes. Yeah.
step through it. So go ahead, tell us why you went there. What was your soul craving that drew you to this experience?
Um, I knew in my heart that I was supposed to be there, and I actually didn't even research much. I found out a week before it was silent. Like, that's how much I knew. I had been
Oh,
meditating
wow.
with the group for a month. I don't know how I missed that. Probably because maybe I might not have gone. Like, honestly, that would have been a
See,
big
that's
deal.
what I mean.
Yeah, and
If
I
we
don't know
knew,
if I would have
right,
chosen it maybe if I had
right.
fully known that. And I was already on my way, tickets bought. I'm like, okay, here we go, you know? Honestly, I thought it would be amazing. I knew that. I thought I would get a lot of, teaching. I'm a Tony Robbins freak. I've been trained by him. I get notes and tools, and I get there and there's no notes. We can't take notes. We can only just be in it. And I could write notes later in my journal. But what I received, it's a words are really hard, honestly. This is such a high vibrational place that there aren't words. They're the highest vibrational humans I've ever had the privilege of being around. You can feel them. The place is just one big vibration of wah, like it's just it's a happening. Yes, I did the work. Yes, I went. Yes, I put my full effort in. But it's really what they share with you energetically that dissolves years and lifetimes of
Okay.
programs and things.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I gotta get my chair right. Here's what
Okay.
we're gonna do, Amy, if you're game.
I
So that I know it's hard to describe
Mhm.
things that they haven't come up with words for yet. And that's the exciting
Yes.
part of it. Yeah. But I would ask you this. So try to paint a picture if you could, if it's possible. I think it is, of something that you may have taken in with you, packed internally, and you left it there. You did something with it.
Mm.
You sent it somewhere. You did something because you left without it. Talk about that thing because I get the feeling there is one that comes to mind for you.
Well, it's one word and it's suffering. I
Oh,
went
that's
in
why you were using it.
I went in suffering. I had no idea how much I still suffered. And leaving, that suffering is gone, like,
What does that look like, though?
truly.
What does it look like? Suffering is it like is are you talking suffering like when you wore shoes that put a blister on the back of your foot and every time you try to walk you're suffering. Is it a woman who's in labor for 40 hours? Is it that kind of suffering? What's it look like for you?
So what's amazing is their definition is the cessation or the liberation of all forms of suffering, small suffering, medium suffering, mighty suffering. So it's the suffering that we get when we aren't in the moment and we're worried about the past and we think it's going to be whatever's going on in the past is going to keep going. It's going to be present forever, and it's the worry about the future, and that the things in the past might repeat themselves, and it's this angst, it's this movie, it's this recording that keeps going on in our brains all day long, and we aren't present. And when you're not present, you're usually in your messed up past or your messed up future. And now I am just like, I am so in bliss, and I'm just not, there's the chatter's basically almost gone, and I'm just in a glorious state of now. And whew, Eckham did that experience, that all of the processes and everything that happened there dissolve that. And I would say I'm like 80-90% in bliss, and suffering, like even the little sufferings, they're just not coming up. I'm not even using my tools that I know how to eradicate suffering. They're not even coming up to have to
Okay.
use.
I'm gonna say something, and a couple things because I was writing. It wasn't that I was distracted, you guys. I just wanted to say because I got a download while you were talking. I'm gonna share it with you guys in just a second, but I will say this: I want people to understand, all of you out there, know that what creates us and what serves us and is working in tandem with us to fulfill our soul's purpose makes sure that every experience that you hear another human relate, it is available to all of us wherever we are or with whatever we have to work with. So again, don't think that the only way you can have exactly uh, your version of what Amy is describing was her version of this experience, uh, because you can't afford to go to India. It will come to you. It will meet you where you're at. Know this, okay? So I my little thing I heard was for me. I guess this is for me. I feel because I was like, well, what does suffering look? Answer your own question. You're asking her, what's it look like? So I asked myself that, and instantly, this is what I saw because I feel it's important to see images of everything you believe to be true. To see it because manifestation, visualization, all these things are connected. So for me now, I know when someone asks me what suffering means, I'm going to say the stench of all things that no longer serve me.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Leaving suffering is for me to, you see what I mean?
Yep.
That, open the windows, air it out, because those things, thank you for what you've done because you got me to who I am. But I don't, get that passport and let's take it from them because your services are no longer required. So
Mm.
that's how I feel. So, Amy, tell us about this thing known that you were sacred blessing because you guys stick around and share this out because Amy's gonna bless us literally with a sacred blessing. It's like a 5-minute thing. Talk about that. It's at the end of the show.
Yes. So right now I have 28 days where I can give a sacred blessing. It is in person. So I'll be in Temecula area tonight giving a blessing and then flying back to Cabo tomorrow to give another one before that ability goes away. But what I can share with you is called a Diksha, and it is another beautiful blessing, and it is known to all kinds of things can happen when receiving a diksha. There can be healing, there can be a sense of oneness, there
Okay.
can there can be your healing powers can come to light, gifts can be unlocked. It's a very, very powerful blessing. Yeah.
Okay. So who? Okay, I'm telling you what's going on in my head. I see you like being knighted or something. Go forth and for 28 days you can bless. Now go. Tell us
I
what
know.
like. How did this happen? I mean,
They they announced that they were gonna be sharing that with us and that we would have the incredible ability to share it as well, and, it we were all in awe, like,
they
that we
who
even do it,
they
you know?
who
They, the leaders, the spiritual masters, which is Sri Krishna Ji and Sri Preeta Ji, they're a husband and wife,
are
and
they
they're
from India?
oh, yeah, they're from India, and they're from Ekam, the oneness field, and it is the world center for enlightenment. That's where I
Okay.
was.
Yeah, almost like what when you go to Sedona, California, the healing properties and things. I mean, Sedona, Arizona. Sorry, guys. That sort of
Oh,
thing. There's real
oh,
stuff going on in that place.
real.
That's true. I know that to be true for real. So,
Yep.
um, okay. So, what's the expiration date thing all about?
So there's a lot of things I don't understand. Okay. All I know is that we had 28 days from the day we left. And for me, that means the 19th of August, I won't be able to share the enlightenment experience, which is called the Ekam City, which is why I'm flying around. So I fly to Texas after that to be able to share it with people in Texas. Um, because it has to be physical. This specific blessing has to be physical, and I'm bringing it up in case there's someone in Southern California who can come today,
Right.
or in Cabo, or in Texas, and I can help you, and I can do that. But I have another blessing that can be done virtually, which is called a diksha, and I would love to bless you with that
What's
because
the
that's
do?
what I can do. Versus the physical one, of course, I'm limited. So
What's the difference in them?
yeah, I don't know that I know, but because this is beyond Lauren. This is in another realm of understanding.
Okay, but listen.
The blessing, the enlightenment blessing, the Ekam City is a transfer of an enlightened state, and based on the definition that I'm explaining, it means a cessation or a liberation from all suffering. So most people feel like this incredible sense of calm. Often the noise, chatter in the head just goes quiet. You feel one with the universe. It's just super peaceful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Most people stay in that state for like 15 minutes. They can't even move. They just close their eyes. It's beautiful.
Hmm.
For some people, it's the first time they've ever felt at peace, like
Oh,
truly at
James.
peace.
Well, you might have somebody. James
Yeah.
Cooley of the James Cooley Show is here,
Yay,
and he
Jay.
says that's
Wooly.
where he lives. Where at in Temecula?
It is, let me get the address. Oh, this makes me so happy. All right. So it is, let me find it. Why don't we keep talking and I'll get it to you by the
Oh,
end? Is
I was
that, is
reading comments. So, Jeanette,
okay.
state of being, a state of continuous now. You're on a high flying disc. Nothing worries you anymore. I love it. Uh,
Exactly.
Robert,
Exactly.
good morning to you. James, we know you're here. Yeah. So, okay, listen. Here's what.
It's 39700 Via de Oro, Temecula, California, 92592.
So what you should do is at the conclusion when we get out of here today, if you would, Amy, why not
Mhm.
go into the comments and go ahead and drop that in there, and then anyone that finds it later and replay or whatever during today might be able to join as well. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Okay, so I want to we're talking about blessings. So I'm the kind of person, it's like, okay, if I hear a term or what something is, what do we all do? We Google, we do this. And so it was interesting what I found when I was like, okay, I want to check out sacred blessing. I always tell you guys it's important because you want to go out there, especially when you're the person delivering the news to people. You guys also have to know what other kind of things they're going to find if they take the words they hear about you and just throw it into the digital box. So
Right.
this is, you know what I'm saying, right? So I found this when I put it in sacred blessing. I was going to see what it's going to give me. And I'll show you what I found if I can click on the right thing. Okay. So I want your opinion of what you think of this. So here it is. It's actually music. So listen. Okay, so one thing about that is there's a lot of tones and vibration moving through it. And we're going to go to a short break. And then when we come back, um, I'm going to show a clip that has the top 10 unsolved mysteries of India. And I
Oh,
want to see what Amy's will stop in between each one of them as we count them down. And Amy, I'd like you to kind of give us a little thing about like, did you hear anything about this? What does it evoke in you when you see this? Did
oh,
okay? I
okay.
think it'll be fun. We're gonna be gone for just 1 minute, just 1 minute. So this is a great time, you guys, to share the broadcast out because it's just getting started. We'll be right back. I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me. And I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can't be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah, yeah. Welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Laura Michaels Harrison. Before we get our great guest back in, Amy Joy, and get back on the trail to India and all things spiritual, I wanted to tell you about something that, well, yeah, I take my health and all that makes it its best as a sacred thing. So yeah, it's spiritual. But I made a choice long time ago, and I was actually eating this all the time before they came aboard. But say hello to our newest sponsor, Progreso Soup. This is the light version. Why is it light? Look at it. That's light. 150 calories in every can. This is my spicy favorite. I can't go much past it for obvious reasons. I don't like too much spice, but I love this one. It's just perfect. Zesty Santa Fe style with chicken. So get over, do yourself a favor, try it in the soup aisle. 150 calories per can. Thank you, Progresso. You're great people. Welcome back, Amy. So here we go. We're gonna watch this video and we're gonna stop. I'm gonna stop in between. Top 10 unsolved mysteries. Really interesting because I I watched some of it already just to make sure. And ooh, here we go.
India has been a land of mysteries since time immemorial. The country has intrigued people around the world for the various eccentricities that are associated with its many religions as well as its diverse culture. While many curious minds have worked hard to debunk and find a logical reason behind certain unusual phenomena, there still remain a few riddles that continue to baffle many rationalists. So here are some of India's most puzzling aspects that are bound to amaze you. In a small village of Lepakshi, in the Anantapur district of Andhra Pradesh, lies the Vedbhadra Temple. Built in the 16th century in Vijayanagar style of architecture, the buildings and corridors of the temple are supported by hundreds of stone pillars. One pillar out of these is particularly interesting as it is not supported from the ground but lays hanging from the ceiling with about 1 to 2 centimeters off the ground. A cloth or paper can be easily passed beneath the pillar, indicating that the pillar is not supported by the ground. But how can a pillar that weighs more than a ton be supported just from the ceiling? The ceiling and the pillar are carved out from different rocks, and the binding materials used back then were not that effective.
Okay. So, okay. What say you?
I say there's a whole lot of things we don't understand, and India has been seeking enlightenment and seeking understanding of these higher realms for thousands of years, and they are ahead of us. They are ahead of us in the magic factor.
Us who?
Pardon?
You said they're ahead of us. Us who? Who's us?
Well, that's a good question. That's I would say compared to most other countries in the world, they have been seeking enlightenment a long, long time, like forever.
Okay.
And this is what a lot of the spiritual gurus, or as we would say, a spiritual teacher. So that's why so many come from India, is because there's a long line of people who have been seeking
But let me
this
ask
this
you
type
something.
of
Let me ask
enlightenment.
you something.
Hmm.
So, because, okay, a lot of people go to China and or places over there,
Yeah,
um, for the same purpose and
yeah.
come back saying the same things. So, my question is, when you said they're ahead of us, but what if it's I really don't know if anybody is ahead of anybody else. I think wherever we find it, it's because it's exactly where we're supposed to be in the awakening, in the
Yes,
ascension.
you're
That's
totally right. This is why language is so hard with describing this stuff, because I agree with you,
yeah,
and yet I still said what I said. You know what I
right.
mean? It's because language doesn't work. They there's so much magic,
Well,
so much
because
magic.
language is built on symbols,
Yeah, and
and
it's
the
limited.
symbols create something that you automatically see in often case, and I think that's therefore a starting point. But in my world, the purpose is to see past what you can see into those things you cannot, or you could not, because you always could. You just weren't ready. Your eyes weren't strong enough, or the right eyes. So,
Absolutely. Your consciousness, we're raising our consciousness, right? That's,
correct.
in my humble opinion, what we're here to do, right?
Right.
Um, for instance, there was a magical moment where we would meditate all night, and it was amazing. And almost every time we would do that, the source, the universe, God would send a rainbow, like at the beginning. And the last time, it started with a rainbow, and when we opened our eyes, there was a psychedelic rainbow there, and it lasted for 45 minutes, and there was no rain.
What do you mean psychedelic?
It was the most psychedelic.
Like
I can't.
vibrant?
We didn't have electronics for a month either, so I had no phone. That's why the video is only from the day before and the last day, because I didn't have my phone for 28 days.
Oh
But
Lord.
I'm telling you, the rainbow was the brightest, craziest looking rainbow.
Vivid.
It was there's no words, and it
Okay. Well,
lasted
there it
for
is.
5 minutes.
There it is. I want to say this at this point.
Magic.
It's like you know the struggling you hear here with trying to here that was funny. You know, trying to explain something that it's not that you couldn't just grab any old turd and throw it against the wall and say this is what it was, but you feel an innate reverence, a respect that I don't want to do anything to disservice this or misrepresent it even in a nano fraction. And
Oh my God. Yes.
so, you know, hence the term we've always had within us. You know, I just can't find the words, or oh, leaves me speechless. Think about it. So let's take a look at number 9, because I thought that was really something, that thing. And why don't we hear about that as one of the wonders of the world? That beam hanging, that's thousands of pounds from the ceiling down. Just, you know, that kind of stuff. So there's something new for me anyway. Here's number 9.
In the Mysore district of Karnataka lies a town called Talakadu. The most notable aspect upon entering the town is that the whole place is filled with sand, making the town a small form of desert. Sand is present all around the town, and in some places it has collected to form dunes. But what is interesting about this mini desert is the fact that the area where the town is situated is one of the most fertile lands. The Kaveri River flows just a few meters away. Then how did such a huge amount of sand get collected in this town? This still remains a mystery.
Okay, so there is a natural thing. Tell us about, did you hit any beaches?
Yes, Chennai, the school or the academy is near Chennai. It's 2.5 hours from Chennai, which is South India. And so on that, I was there a couple days ahead of time and went out on the beach one morning and got to put my toes in the sand and be out on southern Indian beach. But where we were was interior in the mountains. It was beautiful. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I forget when I go over there and automatically mutes me. My bad. Listen, what about the food? So, because that has a thing to do with everything. So take us through the meal process within a typical 24 hours, if you could. You started with
Okay. So breakfast, we did like a thin porridge, and then we usually had
porridge.
Like
Like in the Three Bears porridge
well, not it's different.
with
It's
like oatmeal.
kind of like oatmeal, but thin oatmeal, and
What was it made out of?
I don't know.
You just eat it any old way, girl. I'm kidding. Okay, so was it bland? I mean,
Yeah, it was kind of bland. It was kind of bland, and then we had papaya, and breakfast wasn't my. Oh, they'd have beans, like mung beans or white beans, and I would put the beans in my porridge because to eat the beans just plain was not good.
too
So
much for even you.
so I ate it with the porridge, but that was okay. But lunch and dinner were amazing, and I don't know if it
But
was really Indian food because there was we had an international dining hall and then there was the Indian dining hall,
oh,
and I heard the food was different in the Indian dining hall. So they made it a little bit more between India and every other country in the world. So it was all vegan food, which is perfect because I don't eat meat or dairy, and so it was a wonderful thing for me. I could eat anything that they served, and
how
it
much
was
weight did you lose
very,
while you were over there?
very good. Pardon?
How much weight did you lose while you were over there?
You know what? I don't have a scale, but a lot of people lost at least a few pounds for sure, and
Yeah,
some people a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
But it wasn't a huge switch for me. You know, I eat this way anyways.
There.
So it's cooked, all cooked food. They'd make these chickpea patties that were really yummy.
Well, that sounds good. Hummus
Yeah,
is made out of chickpeas.
and
Yum.
a lot of okra because that was what was in season there. And so veggies and rice or veggies and quinoa. They'd have potatoes in there sometimes.
How was the
No
weather?
desserts, no sugar,
No desserts.
no
In the desert.
electronics, no talking.
Are you telling me there were like no Mrs. Fields chocolate chip cookies that are nothing?
Well, what's funny is one of the translators. So imagine There's 600 people, 400 people from India, and then 200 people from all over the world. And they would have these beautiful souls, translators that would spend all day translating for their group of people. And sometimes it was one or two people from that country, and
Mhm.
they would translate for them. And the Mexican translator, it was her birthday, and like true Mexicans, any excuse for a party. So they came in with a cake and boxes of chocolate, and you should have seen it. It was like Christmas. We went crazy because none of us had had sugar for weeks. It was at like the 3.5 week mark. And we had such a good time for just, that 30 minutes
I
of
hear you.
eating some cake and some chocolate.
Tell us about the weather. Um,
Ooh,
how
yeah.
was that? Because I hear it changes on a dime over there.
Yeah, where we were, it was hot as you know what, for the first 2 weeks. Thankfully, we had air conditioning anywhere we were in class or meditating. And then the last 2 weeks, it changed, and it was became rainy season, and it was kind of overcast and beautiful as far as the heat wasn't so bad. So I got to experience both things, which was neat.
That's awesome. So listen, I want to go. We have a few minutes left. Let's go deeper into the experience as it was, as it pertains to inner things. So you met a lot of people that you didn't know when you went,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If I were to ask you, what the engagement with one person, that experience, that sacred space where the two souls came together. If I asked you which one stands out as the most incredible of all, who would you be talking about? And are you comfortable telling us a little bit about that experience?
I would love to. Oh my gosh. So what came to me right away is my beautiful now friend. His name's Dr. Stephen Clayman, and he is an amazing chiropractor in Austin, Texas. I'm actually flying up there next on Saturday to work with him. And we had this beautiful moment of serving a fellow student who was having trouble physically, and I do energy work. I do trauma release work, and uh, a majority of our physical ailments are emotionally based. And so we had this moment where we both ended up at this person's presence, and we just started working together. And he did the physical, and I did the emotional. And at the end, this beautiful girl was just like, whoa. She was a completely different person, and she released all kinds of baggage from her childhood, and also got her neck adjusted. And it was this beautiful
And
joining of physical and emotional and spiritual, which is what we are.
while you're here, let me adjust your neck. Okay.
Right. it
Okay.
was
She
it
got her
was
neck adjusted.
But
Okay.
he does more than that. It's all muscle testing and meridians, and he's a genius.
So,
Um, yeah, it was beautiful.
so, um, so that was really two people. So you're saying the doctor. Yeah, 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 yeah.
It was
So
us working together. Was like at the end, we looked at each other, and we were both like, "Whoa, that just happened."
is he
Like
single?
he is. He
And
is.
are you single?
I am. Yes.
Mm. Are you guys thinking what I'm thinking?
No, he's a
Mhm,
beautiful friend. He's a beautiful
mhm.
friend.
Don't worry. I'll find him on Facebook and tag him in this broadcast. So
See, love that.
now let's talk about your kids for a second. You have some great
Aw.
kids. Tell everybody about that the dynamic of your clan. And because you're there, you're going up, or did you already go to do this blessing for them? And then we're
It's
gonna go to the blessing.
It's tonight, and Xander's here. He picked me up at the airport. I know you know Xander.
Yes.
I have two sons that I gave birth to, Braden and Tate. They're amazing. They're 23 and 21. They mentor kids. They're unbelievable musicians. They teach music. They're crazy talented. And then I had this beautiful, beautiful experience of being able to take in Xander when he was 16. He was in an abusive situation, and because I've been there, we all had. We were able, rare position to be able to understand and help. And so I raised him, helped raise him, and till he was 19. And he is my third son, third son of my heart. And so yes, I'm up here right now to be able to share this in person with him, because it's in person, and and he's coming actually to Cabo next week, but by then I won't be able to do it. So I came up to be able to make sure he has a chance to experience that, and his
And
friends.
this thing has a Cinderella effect. You're going to be walking around, all of a sudden, you're going to go, oh my God, right? I can't do it anymore. Anyway,
It's
so
so weird. It's so weird and wonderful. I'm just allowing,
hey,
you
don't
know?
question it. Don't question it. Just,
No,
when it's right. We all
it
should.
is. It's
Why?
love.
I'm going to just say that. You guys, you go, how does she know this and the other? I'm going to tell you why. Just like that bell, the truth has a ring to it. Get used to it. Learn it.
Mhm.
Memorize it to a cellular, to a soul level. And you won't have to question things you can't explain. That's why I know when I see the question mark, I feel the question mark in anything within my journey. I'm not afraid of it anymore. Because why? If I don't see that question mark, I know it is not there to serve me, because that means if there's no question involved, I think I know everything. And to me, that's a setup. Been down that road, been there, done that. How about you? Put in the comments. Can I get an amen? Yes, indeedy. So let's get into the blessing. Explain what you're going to be doing here. It takes about 5 minutes, and that should take us right up to enough time to say goodbye to everybody properly. So I'm going to dip out and let you do your thing.
Okay. So what I want you to do is just sit in a comfortable position, and if you want to put your hands at prayer position, you can. You don't have to, but just be in an energy of receiving. If you don't want to receive it, you won't. If you do want to receive it, you will. Energy has no walls, and so if you're willing and wanting, you can just ask your divine to allow all things that are available to you to enter. And what I'm going to do is tap into the divine and into that energy, and and I'm just going to send it to you. So don't have expectations. Just allow, and just allow and enjoy. All right. Let me prepare, and then I'll send you. You just close your eyes and receive. Hamsa Soham Ekam. That means I am you, you are me, we are one.
I can come back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So here we are at the conclusion. Man, I should have left the thing up with those um mysteries of India. But you guys, I dropped it in your chat. So if you want to go back and watch the full countdown of all the wonderful mysteries, and I'm telling you, there's a whole humdinger, bunch of them in there. It's really interesting. So blessing in progress. Tell people what just happened. And what I was surprised because I thought you were going to be chanting some kind of incantation or something. I was like, because somebody put in the chat, let us know when you begin. Because I was like, am I supposed to close my eyes or but I did this. So people, what because people are like, is it working? How do I know? Talk about the receiver and what they can expect and what you really just gave or poured into all of those present and those that will find it later in the replay.
Yeah, so I became a conduit to the divine,
Yes.
and then I'm just allowing and praying basically in English words for me to be a clear conduit and for the energy to go out to whoever's here and for it to do whatever it needs to do for that individual person
For the
because
suffering release.
the diksha can be anything. It could open up gifts like spiritual gifts. It could
Oh,
open up powers. It can unlock maybe blockages, energy blockages. It can heal. It can give a sense of when I've received them, so I know what they're like. It could be a sense of oneness. It can be a multiple of things. The point is I'm trusting the divine and I'm getting out of the way. I'm just a vessel and a tool to be able to share that where maybe somebody might not have that opportunity until
right.
another time. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
this is what I'm able to do and share
Okay.
now, and I'm not attached to the outcome. I it's not up to me.
Okay, question. So when Brian's my husband, met you, I don't know, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
or nearly 5 years ago, yeah. Amy sold us a condo in Mexico. Um, Talk about how different do you think you are today, spiritually, as opposed to who you were then? And is this, there's people like, is this a phase or what?
Wow.
Why do you do it? What are you looking for? And are you finding it?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. What am I looking for? Connection. I feel there are millions of ways to connect to source, to connect to the divine, and
Really?
I'm on a mission to find them all.
Oh,
And
all of them.
well, just
Oh,
to enjoy,
overachieve much?
just
I'm
to
kidding.
thank you for catching
All
that
that are for
universal.
you.
Pardon?
Oh, right, right. And let me just speak to that statement. That's absolutely right. Because all is everything we need. Everything we need. Because her set is different than my set, and my set is different than your set. We've all come through many lives. I don't know what people believe. I know I have, and so I just say that it's just so interesting. You could sit and have like a fireside chat about this stuff for days. In
Yeah.
case you kind of did. One last thing about the trip to India. If you had to use 5 words or less to
Mm.
describe the essence of the experience, what would those words look like? What would those words sound like?
It's more than 5 words. Can I use more than five?
Hold on, let me consult and confirm. Okay, you may.
Okay, let me just say this. It is the most profound thing I could have ever done for myself and for the planet. And if I'm gonna, you walk away in bliss, bliss,
Yeah.
bliss, bliss is the word. Bliss.
There's a word we don't hear used too often. Bliss. Let's make that our word of the day. Google it, if you will. See if there's any of that. Do you find a footprint of bliss around carpets of purpose in your own world? Check it out. Amy, where are you off to next? Any idea? Or just going to wait until you're shown?
Well, I go to Cabo and then Texas to do some blessings, and then after that, I don't know. I'm gonna be launching a book and doing those things. So
talk about that. Amy does have a book out now. You can find it on Amazon. There it is. Get your crap. Oops, I mean shit. Let me cuss. Together. It's a freedom book. Go over and check it out. And that is there. And also, I wanted to put this up there for all of you in the Temecula or the nearby surrounding areas. You're welcome. Here's the number to call and RSVP. Here's the address. But RSVP, please, as they ask, because space, of course, is limited. Amy, what a wonderful thing you're doing. We know that if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best place to go to continue the dialogue and check out things about whatever you're doing?
Yeah, reach out to me. I'd love to connect with you on Amy Joy Coaching. That is me on Facebook, Amy Joy Coaching. And just reach out to me, message me, and I would love to get to know you, where you're at, how I can serve you more.
Okay. And you guys don't forget, at the top of the hour, I already have dropped the ebook link inside your comment section. So please just scroll down, find it, click on it, and get your gift, get your prize, get your blessing. Okay. Amy, thank you so much for coming back and bringing your journey into ours. We love it. And we love you. So tell the boys and that Brian and I say hello, and we can't wait to see them again. And for the rest of you, tomorrow, great show. Robert Syslow's here. I'm going to begin working with him. He is just an awesome guy. Worked inside the Grant Cardone world for about 10 years. He's just a brilliant man when it comes to footage and all the things to market your brand and get your message in front of as many souls as possible. That's tomorrow. So get out there today, won't you please, as every day. Find your personal way to take great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, and nice to nicer. Tomorrow, I will meet you, I promise, as I do every day, Monday through Friday, out front on the front porch. As you know what happens. We have another illuminated conversation. Amy, say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye. It's been such a blessing. Have a glorious day.
And thank you for the blessing, literally. You guys get out in the world today. Make it an experience you'll never forget. Remember every moment. Live it like it's your first. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. God bless you. Be the blessing you want to receive. Bye, Amy.
Bye. Thank you.
Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need I spell it out before you get it, baby? Show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Sign. Shamelessly displaying my state of mind.